Hello, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you all from Reason Together TV. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, according to your time and wherever you are watching us from. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, please enable to hit the red subscribe button down below and also the bell icon for notifications so that whenever I upload a new video, you will always be the first person to be notified. This case that you're about to watch right now is a case of marriage dispute. Please stay tuned while the defendant and the complainant make their statement for peaceful resolution. Until I come your way next time, remember likes and bye for now. Ciao.
Thank you once again. I'm happy with you. Okay, is that mic on? Yes. It's not on.
It's on.
Okay, let's hear you out, please.
Okay, ma. It's a case about being beaten by my husband. On the day it happened, it was about my WhatsApp status. I put it there that before then we had like an argument in the house, so we've not really been on good terms. Then he traveled and he came back. He traveled for a week. He came back on Sunday last week. So this last beating happened on Monday. And so
You were having misunderstanding before
before, yes, ma. So when he came back, everything was a bit better because at least we talked a bit, though not so much about the children and all. So
while he was away or when he returned back?
when he returned back, we didn't talk while he was away. I only called him for the children to talk to him. I think Monday to when he traveled during the time they had to go to school. So when he got back, then on Monday was when I put that status. So I was in a meeting because I work from home. So I was in a meeting, then he just came into the room. I was in the children's room. Then he came in and said,
So they can't hear you.
okay, I was in the children's room in a meeting. So he came around and said I should come over to his room with
In
my
a meeting, is it a Zoom meeting?
yes, my Microsoft Teams meeting.
Okay.
So I followed him. He waited for me to pick my phone. He said I should pick my phone. Then I went in. Since the issue of the beating has actually been on and off. We are going to be 5 years in marriage in a few days' time. So it has always been on and off. We fight, I fight back, and all. So, but it's been a while that it happened before this last one. So I decided that, okay, if there was going to be anything, I would record him just for evidence purpose. So when he told me to follow him to his room, I stylishly started recording. Then I followed him. So when I got into his room, so he said I should show him my phone. That what was the meaning of the status on my WhatsApp. So I told him that, he said, what was on my WhatsApp? I said, I put it there that for every action, there's a reaction. Get that, know that. Before I knew it, he slapped me. Then he said I should open my phone because it was passworded. So he said I should open it. Then I opened it. Then he said, what's the meaning? That what I was throwing sub at him, I was throwing shapes at him, that I should explain what I meant. And I said, this is a statement you always say. Fine, in all honesty, I was referring to him with what I wrote.
Repeat what you wrote.
For every action, there is a reaction.
Which is normal.
It was even his word. That was why I put it there, because it says it to me that for every of my action, I should expect his reaction. So because of what he did, what actually happened was there's an ongoing project, and I'm supporting him on that project. So before he traveled, he slapped me thrice in the kitchen. Yes, ma.
In presence of the kids?
No, in the presence of the nanny. The kids were already sleeping. So it was a very minor issue, like who left the tap running. I was trying to pet I have twins, we have twins. So I was trying to pet one of them to sleep because it was already late. Then we were fetching water in the kitchen, so we left a bucket there. I left the tap on, or maybe a bowl. So the water was dripping. Unfortunately, I didn't know it had started running well, but I was with the baby. So he now came out and went to the kitchen. I think the whole sink was already filled with water. So he now said, who left the tap running? He thought it was the nanny, so he was trying to address the nanny that he shouldn't leave the tap. So I now answered from the living room that I was the one that left it running.
Yeah.
So because it was already, maybe because we already had issue and we were not on good terms, he just flared up and he started saying, you left the tap running. Why did you leave it this one down? So I said, I now got up. Let me go and see what you are saying. I was trying to tell him that it wasn't running well. So that was why I left it so I could use the water. That reminds me, one of the babies threw up. So the vomit was what I poured in the sink. So it blocked the sink. So when that water started running, it couldn't go down. So I think it came up. So I now told him I didn't understand what he was saying. That let me go and see so I can explain to you what happened. That it wasn't like the water was running well when I came there. So
Is it a kitchen sink or
a kitchen sink. So when I stood up, it was like he's still talking to me. I should stay there. That one, I stood. Then he started talking. Why did I leave it on? And I said, I've explained to you this one. Then I went into the kitchen to go and see. So the nanny had already sorted the whole thing. So the water was already flowing. So I stood by the nanny. So he said I should excuse him. I think he wanted to take something. So I moved a little, but I was a bit reluctant. I moved a little to the nanny. He just dragged me and pushed me towards the wall. So as I tried to balance myself, he was talking like, who do you think you are? I'm talking to you. You are this. The next thing, he just landed me slap. Then I held my face. It ended up giving me 3 slaps. I didn't say anything.
So this blood stain on your eyes are the result of the slap?
And and I know there's a bloodshot, not really a brownish this thing on
No,
my eye.
blood is a blood.
Oh, okay, no, not that slap then.
What causes this very one?
This one must be from the beating that happened on Monday. So he now slapped me 3 times then. So because of that, I didn't support him in the projects we were doing. I was meant to make a transfer of some amount of money. So I didn't make that transfer when the time came. So when on that Monday, so on his own status, he now wrote, it's just a phase, it's going to pass. So that was now what made me write, for every action, there's a reaction, which is what he usually tell me. When I do some things or he beats me, he'll be like, for every of my action, I should expect a reaction. So I now put that there on my WhatsApp status. And then after writing that, it wasn't even immediately I put the next status. I now said nothing lasts forever. I just felt that if I don't help, he will definitely sort himself out, or somebody, as in, it's not mandatory. You can't play God. So I now put it on my next slider, nothing lasts forever. So that it won't be as if I'm trying to gloat over not helping or anything. So I noticed that he didn't see it. He didn't see the post. So during my meeting, I think I put it in the morning. My meeting started for 2. So around 3, that was when he came, that I should follow him to the room. So it was like I should explain. Am I throwing shades at him? This one, then he slapped me. I was not like, it's just a statement. You even say it. He said I should unlock my phone. Then I unlocked the phone. So he said I was going to explain the first slide and the second slide. The second slide that says nothing lasts forever. So I was trying to tell him that it's nothing. That I just wrote it, this one. The next thing, he started hitting me. Then he now said he collected my phone. Then I think he went through some things. Then he said I should unlock. I now refused. I said, what are you checking on my phone? He locked The door was closed. I don't know if it was locked. And I said, what do you want to check on my phone? He said, am I still asking him questions? Then he started hitting me. And he likes to hit me.
Was it still recording then?
It was still recording.
Till that moment?
Yes.
And you have the record on your phone?
No, he has deleted it.
Go ahead.
So he started, I said, what was that? Then he said I was going to open it and I won't know what it is. That is right or something. Like, you show me he's the man of the house. I'm trying to be the man of the house and all that. So I now, because of the beating, I now unlocked the phone because it's fingerprint. So he just turned the back towards me. I should unlock. So I unlocked it. Then he started saying, that was when I knew it was already. So he now saw the recording. He knew that I was recording. He now said, yeah, that he knows I was recording. That when he called me, he knew that I quickly started recording. That I think I'm smart. This one, that one. Then he beat me again, deleted all the recordings on my phone, even the ones that I there was one I recorded one of my babies laughing. Then he deleted all the voice recordings on my phone, and then I think he started going through my WhatsApp chat and all. So I think the thing locked again. Then, he will beat me, he will talk. So he now said,
your nanny, did she live with you?
yes, at a point she's around with the children.
Around?
Yes, ma'am.
She's around now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody with the kids?
She's the only one with the kids.
Give me her number. Let's go ahead.
So he started going through my WhatsApp chat and saying so many things. Then he said, am I ready? Can I say that in front of his mom? I said, yes, I can say it. That he should go ahead. And he now said he will go ahead and call her. I said, I can say it to her face. So
what is the advice of the mom?
At a time, then she was like, okay, I think I told her about the support and all. So we had said so many things, and she was like, left to her. She would tell me to still hold on the money. Not this particular, that was sometime last year. That she would tell me to hold on the money and even see where all this would lead to. And I said that no, I already committed myself to supporting that, so let me do it. And she said, okay, whatever I want to do. So I now told him that I was following your mother's advice, that's why I would do the support I was supposed to give. So he now called him. Okay, before he called the mom, he now said, for my information, it was his mom that called his attention to my WhatsApp status.
His own mom?
Yes. And I said, okay, that I've heard, that I'm not really surprised because I saw that she had seen my status, even when he had not seen. It wasn't like a few minutes after I uploaded was when she saw my status. So he now called his mom and asked her that did she ever advise me? And I told her, I reminded her. So she was like, no, she didn't say that.
Same night?
Ma?
The same night that the beating was going?
It was during the day. Okay, it was between 3 to 5 because I was
okay in the evening.
Yes. So she called and she said I shouldn't mention her name again. We are adults, we should sort our case and all that. So, and I didn't say anything to what she had to say. So while he was beating me, then he went to the corner of the room and took I think red label. He took a cup and drank. Then he came back, still beat me, went back again after a while. Like after so many times, then he still went there, took another shot. So it was when he was drinking, I just felt whatever he wants to do, let me just comply. Because he hits me on my head. This head, the pain is just beginning to go down. At a point, he hits me on my head and my body started vibrating, my hand.
And you still want to be in the marriage?
I had to tell him that I don't know, that you just hit my head now, my body is shaking. Like a nerve or something, I don't know, but my hand started shaking. And I was crying. Then he stopped. He started helping me to rub my head. So I told him, so I felt better. Then I told him to leave me alone. Like, you're beating me and you are trying to pet me. So afterwards, when I told him to leave, he was like, "Get out! I'm just, what is it that you think I care? This one, that one." And he still hits me on that head again. And I told him, I said, I complained to you, you hit me, and I felt somehow. And you still hit me on that head. So after a while, after the whole bit, later, he just said I could go. So I told him if I could have my phone. He said I should just get out. Then I went to my children's room. Then later he brought the phone. So that was when I now checked. Was when I saw that I had deleted all the recordings, everything. I tried to retrieve it, but it didn't work. So that
Use
was
that mic properly.
so that was what happened. Then I came here that day. That same day it happened. I wore my clothes. My clothes got torn. So I came here. That was when I now asked. So it was already past 6. So they said I should come the following day. Then I came the following day to make the complaint. Then I think the message was sent on Wednesday or so. So when he got back from work, he started apologizing and all. So I just told him ahead because it's a cycle. It's been a cycle. We are fine today. Tomorrow it's and is too is I is a too extreme person, if that word is right. When everything is fine, I always say it, when everything is fine, you won't believe is someone that can raise his hand.
If money is flowing, if you are supporting, if you
Even
are
if
giving money, if he's taking sex, if he's taking your words, then everything is fine. But when there is no money, then you see the real beast in him. Give him mic. Let me hear from him.
Well, unfortunately, the way you are sounding, I'm talking to you, ma. You are already, you've already made your judgment. But for the sake of posterity, I'm definitely still going to explain my part. But yes, she's the complainant. But what I would have expected is before you even start passing judgment as you are doing now, hear from me as well. Hear from both parties. But already you have judged me. You have castigated me. You have said you take me to court, you this, you that, which is fine. I understand that. You are a woman too. So to a very large extent, I understand the sentiments. Having said that, I'll start by going by when we started as couples. That was even before we got married. We were dating and we started having issues. Before we started dating, we've known each other for over 7 years because we finished from the same university. She was some years junior, we were friends. Then we started dating after like 7 years that we've known. Then we dated for I think about 3 to 3.5 years before we got married. And like she rightly said, our marriage will be 5 years this next week. We are blessed with a set of
Are
twins.
you adding your courtship to the marriage to become 5 years? Or plus the courtship you have
I'm
known up to 7
I'm
years?
explaining to you in details, ma. The courtship, the courtship.
How did you people court?
Hold on, ma. The friendship was 7 years. The courtship was 3 years, making 10 years, and now the marriage will be 5 years,
So-
making 15 years. I'm still driving as a point. Madam, see,
listening to you.
I don't think you are. Because to be honest with you, the way you are responding to me, obviously, if anybody that sees knows that you already made your judgment, permit me to talk.
Go ahead.
Whatever your judgment is, still allow me to talk.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Now, after while we were dating for that within that 3 years, a lot happened. A lot of quarrels here and there, and this issue of domestic violence kind actually started then. There was the very first day it happened. We were in my house and she was going somewhere, and just a very slight misunderstanding She lifted the pot of water that she wanted to use to prepare something. She poured the water on me, threw the pot on me, hit me. As at then, I wasn't used to things like that. So I was able to tolerate it. I was trying to talk to her, she wasn't listening. Then, after a while, she packed her bag and she left. And I think after a while, we still talked, we settled, and we moved on. Subsequently, after then, the cases kept coming up. There was a time that I was driving, she had to remove the MP3 because we're having an argument from the from my car, and she banged it on the floor and it got messed up. There are so many cases of that whereby she kind of attacked me. It's that she attacks me or she attacks my property. And I kept on talking to her like, we can't do this.
When you were in courtship.
When we were in courtship. We can't do this. Now, when we were about to get married, the whole thing deteriorated because it got to a state that I had to fight back. She attacked me physically, then I had to fight back. Then, when it happens like that, she starts acting the victim, just like she's doing now. And all those times, she would say she's not interested in the relationship again. This and fine, no problem. Even it clears me of whatever headache. But before I know it, she would report to her mom. Whatever it is, even when it doesn't get to being physical, whenever we have any misunderstanding, she picks her phone, talks to her mom, talks to her sister, talks to my mom. She badmouths me as much as she could. It was a concern to me, but I kept on counseling her. In my opinion, I feel she's not as matured as I am. If I keep on talking to her, there would be a stage where things would actually improve and get better. And of course, that's the mistake of my life. Eventually, her mom would pick her phone and start calling me and start insulting me without even hearing my part, just like you are doing now.
Excuse me.
She would pick her phone.
Hello. Just mind your statement. Mind your statement and repeat. I am not your wife, neither am I your mother-in-law. Mind your statement and repeat for the last time. If you want to respond to her statement, respond, but don't say a word to me again. Mind your statement.
That's fine. So as I was saying, the mom would call me and start insulting me. The sister would call, and it became a family issue. And after a while, we would still settle. This, like she said, became a cycle, and at the time we were fine for quite a while. And because we were fine, I thought things were actually better. She promised me change, that she was going to change, things were going to be better, and she would be a better person and all of that. So the next thing that happened, after a while, we decided to get married. I remember that even while we were planning marriage, the wedding, some things still happened. Not physical actually, but there were lots of confrontation and quarrels. And I called off the wedding because we actually picked the date for the wedding, which was supposed to be May 6th. But because I saw the way things were going, I called off the wedding and I said I wasn't interested again. If the problem is this much while we are courting, then definitely in marriage is going to be a major problem. Everybody talked to me. It got to the stage that she involved my dad. My dad had to sit me down, appeal to me. We had to travel down home. My dad had to summon her. She came, knelt down, begged, did a lot of things. And out largesse, I decided to, okay, I love her. It's not a matter of whether there is love or there's no love. She's someone I care so much about, someone I really, really cherish. But marriage is more than love. Maturity has to come in, tolerance, and quite a lot of other things. So I think after they appealed to me, my emotions were convinced and I decided to go ahead with the wedding. But of course, we already fixed this, which was May 6th. The dates I told them that even if I was going to go ahead, it won't be that May 6th again. I still needed time, few months to still watch her before I go into the marriage. So the May 6th couldn't hold again. Lots of things had to change. She wasn't happy about that, but I insisted. Eventually, we got married July 9. No, 8th, July 8th. Now, after the marriage, we were together, and in my opinion, I felt she was now comfortable because she's now the marriage, we are already married, and she feels she has what she wants and she can do whatever she wants.
Right.
So after a while that we've been living together, this problem started again. Usually it all starts from she wanting to make a point, she wanting to be the voice that is heard, she wanting to boss.
For instance.
Most of the times when we have issues like this, the kind of things that always come up, maybe I say, this is how I want us to do it. Then she'll say, no, this is how it should be done. Then I'll say, we will drag over it for a while. Then if eventually I now decide that, okay, I'm doing it this way, then she gets angry about it. Now, there were times, countless times that I've asked her when the problem was happening that, okay, I noticed that you want to be in charge. Is it that you have problem with my leadership? She said no. Do you believe, between you and I, who do you think is the better decision maker? She said me. All the decisions I've been making since you and I have been together, which one has ever backfired on this family? She said none. So why are we having problems? If you believe I'm a better decision maker than you, I will never make any decisions to hurt our family. I will never do anything to even hurt you. Why do we have to keep fighting over you wanting your things, the things to be done in your way? Few times that I've decided to try your suggestion, most times it end up backfiring. So why don't you? I can't remember a lot. There's quite a lot.
Something leads to something. So if you are saying she's the boss of the house, she's challenging your authority, then for instance, this is what happened and this is how
The truth is, even she has admitted to it.
To you or to this
To me. To me, like I said, I can't remember. There are lots of cases. Like I said, no, I can't. You can give cases.
Please.
Okay, the case I want to talk about happened recently. His cousin comes around.
Speak up, madam.
His cousin comes around to the house. That one lives in Ikorodu. So he will just come. So if everything is fine, when we don't have issues, he tells me, oh, so person is coming. So that day, I just heard a knock on the door. He wasn't even around. Then the boy came, and we were about to go to bed. So I had to go back to the kitchen and sort him out. Then another time again, he came. This time around, in fact, I always plan for the week when it comes to food. So I now had to make some adjustments. I ended up going back to the market. So I now told him, I went to his room, I now told him that, please, can you be telling me or let me know when your cousin is coming? So it's just one person. So that let me know when your cousin is coming so I can sort him out. That the last time he came, we were almost going to bed. I didn't like the fact that I had to go back to the kitchen and know. So it was like, okay. Then the following day, he now said, I might try to run his home, tell him what to do. That, why would I say he should tell me? I said it's just because of the food. I don't have an issue with him coming. So those are the kind of cases. Then another one is the landlady comes, that she knocks on the door. I want to see.
And when the cousin came, you actually went to kitchen to cook for him?
Yes, I still did.
And you've done your cooking for the day?
We had even eaten.
And when you came, you went to the kitchen?
Yes.
To cook for him?
Yes.
A cousin?
Yes.
Right.
So the landlady comes, knocks on the door. I want to see your husband. And because of the kind of woman she is, everybody in the compound knows she's quite troublesome. So I asked her, what do you want to, any issue? She was like, she wants to see him due to so I can't remember the particular issue. So I told her that he's sleeping. I will relay your message. So when I told him, he got angry. Why would you tell her I'm sleeping? Are you my oga? You should have come. Let me be the one to tell you. So I'm
What to
like,
say?
yes. I'm like, one, I know the kind of woman she is. I know it's one wala or the other. So I just told her that, okay, so that you will now have that decision, like, okay, do you want to see her or not? Another instance, the caretaker came. He saw the nanny downstairs. She went to throw away debt. Then he asked of him. When the nanny came upstairs, she told me that somebody was asking for my husband. He was in the room. I said, who is the person? The nanny didn't know the caretaker. She said, one dark man like that. Then I went downstairs. It didn't make sense to me to go into the room and tell him that somebody is asking of you without knowing the person. I went downstairs and let me check who the person was. Then I saw it was the caretaker. So I greeted him. I said, oh, Eyini, like, it's you. So he said, how about your husband? I said, he's upstairs. So he now started saying what he wanted to tell him. So my response to him was, let me go and call him. Then I went upstairs to call him. He had an issue with that. I
So
should
what is
have
the issue?
come to tell him what the nanny said. Why did I go downstairs to go and check who the person was? So I said, that was my own reasoning. It didn't make sense to me. When I now come in the room and tell you someone is asking of you, and you ask me who is the person, won't I sound stupid? Another instance,
It's okay.
let me give this one, ma. The children, I see that their hair is rough and I loosen it. Then by reflex, I just call the hairdresser. They come to make their hair in the house. Can you come? When can you come? Then he wasn't around. And I now called my husband. I'm losing the children's hair. That even the hairdresser said she will come tomorrow to make their hair. He found an issue with that. I didn't tell him before losing the children's hair. Then I went ahead to invite someone into his home without letting him know.
As they come.
No, it was a Friday. She was to come Saturday. And I was telling him on the Friday. In fact, I started begging him from outside Lagos that he was till he got back. That one too escalated.
Have they been coming to play the hair at home, or you
Yes.
have been taking them?
The woman has been coming.
And the same woman you invited?
Yes.
And he knew that the woman had been coming?
Yes.
Not that you've changed the woman to
No, the
another
same
person.
woman.
Go ahead.
So I can't go ahead and losing the children's hair. I have to take permission.
Give her.
So those are the instances of being
Of
bossy.
your topic. Take place.
Okay. The first one she mentioned about my cousin. That same day that she came to meet me,
On the phone.
that I should tell her whenever my cousin is coming. That same day, our elder sister and our husband and the old children came to my house without anybody telling me anything. Now, usually before then, like she said, if there's no issues, someone could come and be like, I didn't even know this person was coming. But this situation was already a tense one. And that was why the idea of everybody trying to establish authority was an issue. That same day that my cousin came, it was her sister and her husband and the children that first came without me being aware. I was in the room. We just got back from church, not even eating. Then she just rushed to the door and was like, my sister and her husband and the children are around. And I was like, nobody even told me anything. But no problem. She said that they didn't tell her to. They just came like that she wasn't aware. I said, okay, no problem. I went out, I saw them, we entertained them, and after a while they left. Then some hours later was when my own cousin came. This is my cousin that came. Was even with us for like a week, the previous week, that week that was ending. He just stepped out to go to Ikorodu to do some things, and then he came back. So it's not like he was just coming for the first time. He came back that Sunday afternoon. Then she came to me. Ideally, if things were fine, she too wouldn't have come to me to tell me that whenever your cousin is coming, always tell me. She has a very cordial relationship with this my cousin that they even plan things behind my back. So I told her, when she said it, because my cousin was already around, I don't want us to start creating a scene. So I said, okay, that's what you want. I've heard you. Then she left. So much later in the evening, I think maybe when people were relaxed. So I called her in and I told her, like, you were telling me to always tell you when my cousin is coming. Did anybody tell me when your own sister was coming? This cousin is my brother. Is my brother is a very close member of this family. So whether you like it or not, you don't have the right to come and be telling me that I should inform you before my cousin comes when you didn't even inform me before your own people came. So in fairness, that was that about the cousin. About the landlady, yes, the landlady could have her issues, but yes, we've been tolerating each other. I have been in that house now for over 6 years, even before I married you. And I've been tolerating this woman. We have issues. Everybody knows what's up. The woman doesn't want to have a relationship with you, which I've tried everything to correct. I've spoken to the woman. There was a time this woman blocked one of my car for weeks. That's the landlady, all because you went to approach her.
Approach her. What was happening?
The landlady was, it blocked my vehicle. So I was coming downstairs, so she helped me to open the gate. So as I got there, I was like, this vehicle, why did this woman block this vehicle? She has another vehicle too that she already parked outside.
Which is the landlady?
That's the landlady. So as she came downstairs, she was just going to that other vehicle outside. I had already told her inside that she should please help me to move her vehicle so that I can bring that vehicle out. So she was just going. So you went to approach her. I've told her severally, leave this woman alone.
She approached her how? To move
I'm
her
still
car?
coming. I'm still coming.
Yeah.
I've told her severally, leave this woman alone. If she doesn't want to have it, just leave her. Let us just coexist. Now, when the woman now came downstairs, she now went to meet the woman. That's the approach now. That's why they want to move this vehicle. You are going into another vehicle. Come and move your car. I wasn't there, so I didn't know how she talked to the woman. But the next thing, the woman fled or she started shouting. I went there, I appealed to the woman. She refused. She was very furious. All the other neighbors went there to appeal to her. She was angry. Then I was asking her, why are you angry? She said, because my wife approached her. I said, but there's nothing bad in that. You are blocking her husband's vehicle. I've already talked to you about it. Why are you angry? She said, no, that my wife doesn't greet her, so she doesn't have the right to come and approach her and all of that. So all this has happened prior to that time that the landlady came. So I said, the landlady knocked the door and she said she wanted to see me. You should have just come inside to come and call me, just to avoid another round of another trouble. You should have just come inside. Then you told her I was sleeping. Even you that you said I was sleeping, you didn't know whether I was sleeping because I was actually awake. You didn't bother to come inside to even come and check whether I was sleeping or not. You just told her I was sleeping. So I told her, apart from the fact that you are trying to create enmity with the landlady, you are still passing another message. You are trying to tell her that you are in charge of this home. That's where the issue of she's saying that I'm saying I have problem with that. You are trying.
Sorry. That she said you are sleeping. That shows that she's forcing you, or she wants to. She's um, giving an impression that she's the one controlling her home. Is that the reason why she's sleeping?
Well, that's the impression I have. Like I was saying, you telling her that she is sleeping, whereas you didn't even bother to come and check whether I was sleeping or not. Is you trying to pass a message that you can make decisions even without my knowledge. It's not to her, but to me. I was inside, I wasn't sleeping. But you are telling someone that I was sleeping so that the person would not see me. So that means you are taking the decision out of my hand. You didn't even bother to tell me anything. And that's about that. Now, the next one that she mentioned about the children's hair. She talked about the hairdresser coming to the house to fix the hair. This particular day that she was talking about, we were talking on phone. I travel a lot. So most times when I'm outside Lagos, we do a lot of calls, we talk, we chat, we do video calls. So while we were making one of those calls, she just told me that I have called the hairdresser, I've loosened the children's hair, and I've called the hairdresser to know whether she should come home or I should take the children to her. So I said, you have already called her and you are planning whether to take these children to her. I don't allow my children to just walk about in the streets. Unfortunately, that time we had some financial age, and I had some financial age, and we were down to just one car. So, yes. So, there wasn't any way you would take the children down to the hairdresser without exposing them to the sun and the lights, which I'm not comfortable with. And now you are already asking the woman whether you should bring the children. Don't you think you should have discussed this with me? Let us both agree. That's usually what I tell her. Let us both agree whether you should take the children and expose them to things like that or not. Not that you just take them. Like, apart from the issue of the hair, there are so many other things that comes from my side that before I take any decision, I talk to you about it. If I don't talk to you about it, you get angry. I'm trying to make this decision behind your back. So if you are having that issue, should why should you now do what you are kicking against? And that was how that one went. Now, after all of that, I think basically that's my defense to the things she said about the points that she gave. So now back to my previous explanations. After we got married, the problem started again, and we were always having issues. A lot of times she would hit me. There was a time that she beat me, she fought me. I was trying to protect myself. She bite me here. At a point, I went to the hospital. I was plastered.
Do you have the mark there?
I think, except if I will have this is a mark of her teeth. This is a mark of her teeth. Now that one, it got very serious because I felt very bad about it, and I tried to talk to her. Yeah, we quarreled, but why do you have to get physical? Apart from the fact that she got physical with me, she took my phone, she broke my phone, and
Okay, you want the spiritual.
sorry,
Do you want the fight spiritual?
I don't understand.
Do you want the fight spiritual instead of physical?
Why do we have to fight, whether spiritual or physical?
Yeah, because you are emphasizing you got physical and all that. So I want to know if you prefer
When I say she got physical, it means
the attack.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we kept on talking about it, and we most of the times we still settle. This whole thing was getting out most of the times to both families, my parents, our parents. There was a time my father had to advise me that whenever such issue is coming up, all I should do, just try leave the house and all of that. There was a day that she started again, and I was trying to leave the house. We have two doors. There's a door that goes out from the kitchen, and there's one from the sitting room. She started this attack, and I was holding myself back, like, you started again. Every time there's always one quarrel or another. Immediately I tried to stand up to go. She dragged me back, start punching me. I was telling her, you cannot beat me. Physically looking at the two of us, if you think you can beat me, you are deceiving yourself, or you are pushing me. If you keep hitting me this way, there's no way I will not fight you. She started, and after a while, I noticed that maybe she went inside to do something. She had locked the sitting room door, the main door that leads outside, and she has kept the key with her. So immediately I noticed that she left, there was an allowance for me. I quickly ran from the kitchen door to go outside. So as I ran out, as I was running out, because it's a compound in the estate, as I was running out to go to the front gate to leave the compound, the next thing I just saw her, she was putting on just a gown, like a nice gown, without bra, without slippers, without anything. She has opened the front door and she cornered me in front. I didn't know how she knew I was running out. So when she cornered me, because we have neighbors, so my concern was these neighbors, they are always hearing noise and fight. If they see this again, so I had to run back inside because I don't want us to be shouting outside there. So I ran back inside and I sat put. She would slap me, she would hit me. I managed.
What causes the slap and beating? Or it's just you wake up in the morning, she hit you, slap you, blocking you, and all that.
And that's what I'm saying. There are so many issues that causes this. Arguments, when we have arguments and Sometimes even when we have arguments and we start insulting each other, like she said, and probably she was talking about maybe my parents, and I decide to talk about her parents too. She gets angry and then she hits me. The same thing has happened from me to her too. Like she talking about my parents and I go angry and I hit her. Then she starts, I slap her and she fights me back, and we started engaging ourselves. Now, usually, all of this thing when it happens, it always gets very serious that a lot of times I have to leave the house, probably after the whole fight and everything.
So what happened in this recent one that I have blood stain on her eyes?
Okay, so this recent one that happened, just like she said, there's a project I'm doing presently. Sometimes last year I lost my job. I actually resigned from the job, and it was based on her advice, because the job we were having issues. I'm a pharmacist, so it's a pharmaceutical company, and most of the times this border closure it affected us, and the funds were not really being generated, but I was still managing, at least for that time. So she advised that I have a lot of businesses that I do, even outside Lagos. I have a project. Why don't I focus on that and leave this job for them so that at least I can build my own business and job? We talked about that and we agreed on it. And I now told her the project I'm doing outside Lagos is capital intensive. It requires a lot of millions. I have exhausted myself, even my savings. I've really spent a lot on that. I want, I don't know if I resign now, how am I going to cope with that? Because that's a major thing that we are looking at. That if it works out, then I don't have to go and work for anybody. So she gave her consent that if I have a place that I could take loan, there's a way she could support with payment of some of the loan. So I went outside and I took loan to the tune of over 4 million. So she promised that she would try to support with part of it, that she was going to help me to pay part of it back. And you know, when you take loans, there's always pressure. Here and there, the banks, the cooperative society, there are days that you have to pay a particular amount back in a month. So I took the advice, I resigned, I took the loan, and I started pumping it into the business. After a while, this issue of us quarreling kept on coming up, and there was a time that we had a quarrel, and she that month she didn't pay the money. And unfortunately, me, I have other loans that I am servicing to with my own other also that I try as much as possible to raise money to pay. So I was trying to service that one, believing that since she has promised to help with some of this loan, at least what she's bringing will be taking care of that loan monthly payment. So because we had that issue, she didn't send in the money. I was even out of Lagos. And I think that was the time that she probably spoke with my mom. I didn't know what they discussed. Even the idea of always talking to my mom, I've appealed to her severally. When we have issues, we are adults. Let's sort it. Let it not go to your mom, my mom, and everything. This is part of the thing that is constantly generating problems. Let's talk to ourselves. The moment we bring in third party, my own parents will want to defend me, your parents will want to defend you. It's start breeding bad blood. Let us always try to address things between us, but she doesn't listen. At every opportunity she has, she picks her phone, calls her mom, her sister, everybody that cares to listen. So now, eventually, she didn't pay that money, and I was very sad about it, but I found a way to make that payment. I got back to Lagos and we talked about it, and she told me she was mad at me these days, blah blah, and all of that. We settled, and I told her, okay, this payment that you've not made now, there's a lapse in that part. How do I cover up for it? We talked about it. She said she was going to give me some. She gave me some, but not all. So we moved on from that stage. And like she said, this year has actually been good because we've not really been having issues. Even when there is a slight issue, in a short while, we come together, talk about it, and we settle, and we move on. And even most times when issues want to come up, I believe both of us are becoming mature in the marriage, that we try to take it away from the children as they are getting older, because now the children are just going to 2 years. They are 1 year plus. And we were managing it that way. Now, this last one that now happened, we now had a misunderstanding. I'm trying to even remember the source of that misunderstanding. I think we had a misunderstanding, and like she said, we were not talking. Then, before that misunderstanding, if that first one that happened, that she didn't pay, after we settled, we talked about it, and we both agreed that no matter what quarrel we are having, we should not allow it to affect whatever process or whatever thing that affects the home. If there's anything you have to do, try to do it, because we believe that the quarrel will still settle it and it will come to an end. So when I was traveling, like she said, this was in my head, and I went outside with the little cash I had. I bought food, I have a bag of rice, I bought some things that my children would need just to stock the house before I travel. On a normal day, I would have said, we are fighting and we are not talking. You too, there was a time you are supposed to do something, you didn't do it because we are fighting. So me too, you people should just sort yourself. But I said, I felt this is not proper. This is my responsibility. As much as I am cash strapped, let me still try to do what I'm supposed to do, even as inconvenient as it was for me. So I did that, and I was still outside of Lagos when the day for this month, for last month's payment for our own part of the loan, when it came, then she refused to pay again. I had paid the other ones that were piling up, my own quota, but for that particular one that she was supposed to pay, she didn't pay it. I understand that she's supporting me, but like I always tell her, the project I'm doing is not as if when it materializes, I'll spend the money alone all by myself. It is still in the interest of the family. If it is just for me to take care of myself, without hustling too much, I can always afford that. But this is in the interest of the family. So if you are supporting, see that you are supporting your family. Don't think you are supporting me. Now, at the end of the day, she didn't pay that money. I got back to Lagos, and the pressure was so much on me. The loan people were calling, embarrassing me on phone, and I had to now talk to her. When I was not around, all through that 1 week, we were talking on phone, but not as we would. She would call in the morning for me to talk to my children, we talk, and before I know it, she would end the call. So we were not really talking to each other, but at least we were still communicating. So when I got to Lagos on Sunday, that Sunday was even the deadline for that payment. So I called her into the room, and I was like, the loan you are supposed to pay today. Unfortunately, if I had been hinted, or I had an idea that she was not going to pay, because that particular one was very important, I probably would have found a way. Other loans that I paid, there's a way I could have still managed to take the money I used to pay that one to pay the one she was supposed to pay. But I felt we had talked about this and it shouldn't be a problem. She told me that I should go and sort it myself. So I tried everything I could to reach out to find that money, called my mom. It wasn't forthcoming. So the pressure was so much on me that I wasn't myself. And after that, the next day, I now put it on my status that it's a phase that will pass. I hardly upload stuff on my status. But that really got me. A lot of people were chatting me, what's the problem? I said, no, don't worry, I'll find a way. These people were saying they will come to the house, embarrassed. They are very keen on being up to date when it comes to the loan payment. So I uploaded that, and the next thing that happened, I noticed that she uploaded something too on her status. And that was when I checked it, and I saw what she wrote there. For every action, there's a reaction. And to be honest, as much as I'm not proud of what I did afterwards, that got to me, and it really broke my heart, because I I felt we had come to the conclusion that no matter what is happening, let us always try as much as possible not to allow it to affect the thing that will affect the home. And because I didn't have any other way to raise that money, I was very tense, and it became so heavy on me. And when I saw that was when I called her in, and the whole episode of me slapping her and she trying to fight back and all of that happened. And after all of that happened on that day, I think I have not had peace because of what happened. And I think it was on Wednesday that I went to meet her immediately I got home. And I appealed to her, I apologized. I did everything I could do. She said she doesn't think I'm sorry. She's this. I even told her that the last quarrel we had, you were the one that hit me. Why did you hit me? You are always putting your phone in the kitchen beside the gas. I be with all of us have seen cases of explosions because of phones in the kitchen. Don't be taking your phone to the kitchen again. I have said this a million and one times. But my wife will still take her phone, take it to the kitchen, start pressing phone, chatting, and all of that. So this day, I got to the kitchen and I saw her phone. So I took the phone and I hid it. So later she came to me, did I see her phone? I said, what did I tell you about this phone thing? I've told you, no, if it happens, it's not only to you. It will affect the whole family. It will affect people that stay downstairs. It's a major disaster. Stop taking your phone to the kitchen. She was like, she has taken it. At least that one has happened. I should give her her phone. I said, I'm not going to give you your phone. I just wanted to see her being sorry about the fact that she still took the phone to the kitchen. So before I knew it, we went to the room. We were sleeping in the same room. Then before she slept, she was all over me. I should give her her phone in a very angry tone. So I decided I was not going to release the phone. Then the next morning when we woke up, because she was working from home, I was working from home. This happened in the night, late at night. So when the children had slept, she came and was insisting. So I just told her like she should just leave me. Then the next morning she came again. Where's my phone? Where is this? And before I know it, she slapped me. She started punching me. Immediately she started doing that, I managed to drag her out of the room. She stayed by the door, started banging the door, that she opened the door, I must give her her phone, this and that. Now, after a while,
Out of the room, took out of the bedroom to the parlor.
yes, out of the bedroom, there's a corridor before the sitting room. Out of the bedroom to the corridor. So when we were there, she did all she could, shout. I didn't respond, I didn't say anything. I was just inside because she was already outside. So I knew you will just talk. There's nothing else. She insulted me, said everything she could say. So after a while, I noticed that she was a bit calm. I opened the door, I came outside. So after a while, I noticed that she was a bit calm. I opened the door and I came outside, and while I was outside, the nanny is an elderly person and she has witnessed most of these episodes. And I was telling the nanny that, can you see what is happening now? She put the phone there. I was even asking the nanny, I've said it countless times, don't cause problem with this phone that you take to the kitchen. She put the phone there, I kept the phone. I expected her to be sorry so that we can talk about it, then I give her the phone. But now she's here fine. She stood in front of me, the nanny was there. And while we were talking, I was talking, she was talking, she just started hitting me again in the presence of the nanny. She hit me so hard that I had to run out of the house, and I left the house for a few minutes before I now later come back to the house and I went to my room. So I was now telling her when this one happened that you are here saying you don't believe me, that I'm sorry, even despite the fact that I've come to you. Yes, I'm ashamed of what I did. I'm not happy about it. And I'm sorry about it. But the last time that we had a physical, that there was an attack, you were the one that attacked me. You never even apologized. Up till now, it's not as if you came to apologize for what you did. I still returned your phone to you. It's not as if you did anything for there to be peace, but I just allowed it to go. Now, this has happened. I am coming to appeal to you. I've been begging you since. You are saying you don't believe me. So, as at that time,
Did you actually beat her the day you saw the sink blocked by your baby's
yes, I slapped her that day.
slaughter?
Yes, that day we were already, the issue was already on ground. The quarrel that I said we were having. So I entered the kitchen and I saw that water was already flowing. It was almost flooding the kitchen. So as I was there, I was saying, who left this? Why are you people leaving? What do you want to flood the house and all of that? So the nanny quickly ran to the kitchen and she said, that she's not the one. So I was like, who could have done this? So she was responding from the sitting room that she's the one. So I was telling her like, but why would you leave this open? Do you want the kitchen to be flooded and all of this? So she started arguing, and she didn't know. The water was trickling before, it wasn't really coming out. That she didn't know that it was coming out. The attitude with which she was saying it wasn't okay. But I didn't really mind about that because when I noticed that attitude, I too I was talking. So she was talking, I was talking. Then she came to the kitchen. I didn't know what she came to do. I wanted to pick something from the plate rack. She was standing there. That was the purpose why I even went to the kitchen in the first place. That made me see the water. I wanted to pick something from that plate rack. So I told her that I should let me, after we had talked, and I told her that she should excuse me, let me pick what I wanted to pick. So she refused. She just stood there. And that was when I dragged her away from the sink. Like, what is wrong with you? Who do you think you are? I told you to allow me. So she was looking at me, she started talking, and out of anger, that was when I slapped her. So I actually did slap her then.
Okay, then the issue of you returning back and you met her having her Zoom meeting and you excused her to your room. What happened that day that you beat her for hours before the afternoon?
Well, I didn't beat her for hours. Like I said, the tension was on me for the payment of the loan. And it was then that I saw what she posted on her status. And that was when I called her because I don't want us to, like I said, I always try for us not to have all these issues in the presence of the children. So I told her to come into the room so that we could talk. I was very, very angry.
Okay, do you mean the apartment, the room where you were with her and you're beating her, and cry, your kids, where the kids are, you feel you are not listening to the cry of their mother, or the nanny was not hearing that she was crying in that room?
I didn't expect that it would result into that. I just wanted to call her for us to talk about it. I was really pressured and
All right, please, members of the house, the call line is 0903 000 2484. Meanwhile, we still have this house filled, and I believe people that are seated here, even if they are complainants or they are defendants, in any case, they are also married. And I would not want any of them to feel as taking side based on his impression before the final conclusion of this case. You can put call in on 0903 000 2484. I hope this the network is here. Adam, is the network or come and check? Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Princess calling from Maryland, USA.
Maryland, USA. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, regarding the case on ground, the man needs to manage his anger. I think he's having anger problems. He needs to manage it, and he wants to be the one controlling the house all the time. He's not done that with two parties involved. So you also listen to your wife, not saying I have to do everything. I have to get permission to call the hairdresser. It's not done that way. Everything needs to be done not in two ways, in unity. But only your own to be done all the time is wrong. You need to control your anger. You need to really control your anger. If you don't, you're going to lose a lot of things. You're going to lose your marriage. You're going to lose your children. That's the only thing I need to do right now.
Thank you. The call line is 0903 000 2484. Good afternoon, your name and where you are calling from.
Hello, good afternoon, President.
Good afternoon, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling to contribute to this case going on right now.
Go ahead. Give me the word.
Okay. From everything this couple has said, hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, I said from this case going on now, from everything they have said, both the man and the woman, it's just obvious that the man is a control freak.
Okay.
Because everything in that house seems to be a problem. The wife loses the kids here, it's a problem. So I don't get it. And then you seize an adult phone because you're married to her. If you said the phone is in the kitchen, you don't like it, why not tell her, oh, remove your phone? How can you seize an adult phone for days? And then you open your mouth and say, I now slapped her. Your wife. President, I don't know what. Broken. It's heartbroken. But I trust your office to do judgment to the case here. I trust your office.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, your name and where you are calling from.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ifom. I'm calling from Italy.
Go ahead, informer from Italy.
Okay. I've been listening. The only thing I need to contribute towards this issue now is, personally, as a married woman, there are things, because it's not like a new marriage that there are kids in the family. So those things that the woman is supposed to do on her own, all she ought to do is, when she's done doing it, she might tell you as the husband, I did this today. I was able to take the kids here to go and make their hair, because I don't see anything that the man has nothing to do with making children's hair. Personally, I have kids. When it comes to children's hair, so many things, it has nothing to do with the man. But when it comes to general family, like rentage or planning of anything they want to do, those are the things that they need each other's opinion. But not minor things like making a child's hair, asking for your opinion. I don't think it's like when a man is, you want to be in control, total control. Things are not done that way. And with that, the woman might be bitter within her, and she will not start bringing up unnecessary character. Like, even when she's supposed to ignore some certain things, she's angry within her that you want to enslave her. I think that is the problem in that family. The man should know his duty as the man and allow the woman to do her own as the woman. We all have our own way. I'm a married woman. With what I'm hearing here, personally, I cannot condone it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, your name and where you are calling from.
Good day. My name is Emeka. I'm calling from Imo State.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I would like to talk to that young man. Based on what he says so far, I think the lack communication in that marriage. Communication is very, very important. It's very, very vital. When the husband is doing something, he doesn't want to let the wife know. When the wife is into it, she doesn't want to let the husband know. Nothing brings issue in marriage than such. And based on, again, what that young man said about holding the wife's phone till the next day, it wasn't a good thing to do. At least you should have, once you have collected that phone from the kitchen, held it for some minutes, you give your wife her phone. She's your wife. She's not your mate. I mean, it's high time women start seeing our wife as our friend, not anything outside that. Because for you to do that thing means that you want to show her that you have power. You want to show her that you can do whatever you want to do and she can do anything. You crossed your boundary, bro. You crossed your boundary. And now there's a limit to what you do. There's a limit to what you do to avoid issues in your marriage. I'm telling you this as a man. I'm a married man and I have kids as well. But there's a limit to what you do. You can't hold a woman's phone till the next day and she's still telling you, give me my phone, give me my phone. You held it and you want to know what she will do. And you want peace in that marriage. There will never be peace. You can't, with what you said and the action you exhibited means that you want to turn that woman into a rag, or I don't really, as I'm talking to you now, I'm so angry at you. Just for this line of statement that you had her phone till the next day and she has been pleading, she was pleading and pleading, you didn't want to release the phone, and at some point you reacted and all of that. Man, bro, things are not done that way. You have to caution yourself. I know that, yeah, no marriage is perfect, but you guys should be able to communicate. In the other line that she said that she wants to bring someone that will make the children, bro, there are some things that you shouldn't even look into. Focus on your work, focus on your business. There are some things you shouldn't even look into. She wants to bring someone into the house to make the children. It's none of your business, bro. It's none of your business. Let her bring the person she wants to bring to the house. I have 2 girls. And most times my wife brings a hairdresser, or she wants to take the kids to the hairdresser. It's none of my business. What I know is to give her money to go and do the stuff. I go about my business. It's not everything that you look into. So you don't have to be a woman. Be a man for once. And it's not everything that you react at, like you react on. Sometimes you overlook it. Women will always be women. She's running her mouth, bro. Overlook her. Overlook her. Most times, I will just give you one tip now. Most times, you see silence. Silence does the work in marriage. Silence. It's not everything that you show your physical power and all of that. Silence, man, you walk away. Go far away. Me, I prefer to give my wife mood. I'll give her a mood so she will come back. All the time, ask me, babe, what's up? What happened? Why are you like this? Why are you like this? There are some several ways to sort out marriage issues and being physical and abusing. That's my own take. Thank you, praise God.
Thank you very much, sir. Where are the able men and real husbands? We don't want females to talk much because you feel they are trying to take side of women. Where are the real men and the real husbands? Please calling out. Take this contribution. Good afternoon. Name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Sandra. I'm calling from the US.
That's for US.
Okay, I just want to make a little contribution to this. First of all, I want to address the man. This marriage you've been in this relationship for 15 years. I guess you should know better. Because, first of all, you sounded like you were persuaded to marry that woman. A woman you dated for almost 7 years. You dated 5 years and then 3 years in courtship, 8 years. And then you canceled the marriage because you thought, she was not worthy of being a wife or something. I just want you to know that the way you sound so childish, and you have to grow up, and you have to do this job yourself. by telling yourself the truth. Try to cut down on the way you try to run this family. It is too, you guys are, like the last caller said, you guys are friends. You should see your wife as your best friend because she's actually your best friend. And that's the only way you enjoy this marriage. And to the lady, you have to realize that your husband is your head. You don't have to, confront him, try to fight him like he said. You can't fight him. Don't push him to beat you. You don't push him to try to put his hands on you. Try to avoid it, so that your marriage will work. I just, the guy that said the president is already taking sides. She doesn't take sides with anybody. She says it as it is. So please don't make it look like she's taking sides with anybody. The world is hearing. So that 2,000 people are online now listening to both of you. And she's not the one judging. So please try to work your marriage out and make it work. You can make it work. And then involve God and pray. This marriage, don't let it break. Go back, because whatever that discussion problem in this marriage is not serious. Go back and make it work. Release pride, because I see you have some kind of pride in you. Bring it down, and the marriage will work. God bless you. Well done, President.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. While we wait for our impartial panel of judges, we have somebody from the Amnesty International. She can also want to. Good afternoon, your name and where you're calling from after this.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yes, my name is Adebayo from Abuja.
Okay, Adebayo, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly chip in something. I feel personally, if nobody remembers to say it's a terrible thing if a woman tries to be attacking the man physically for whatever reason. So, and I don't support domestic violence in any way. I remember one of the things the man said was that sometimes he tries to leave the house and she still locks the door and stuff like that. We see these things happen, and it is very easy for people to be biased towards the man. The both of them have their issues, and obviously, communication will still be the solution. They need to learn to communicate better. However, we should realize that sometimes women push men a lot. So we shouldn't be biased towards. I don't want a situation where we are not addressing the real issue.
All right, thank you. You can see that your children are also contributing. Okay, let's hear from the Amnesty member that is in our midst here. Go ahead, ma'am. Sit down, please.
My name is Mrs. Victoria Senso Jarrett from Sierra Leone. I reside in Nigeria. As I am now here, I am seeing the two couples. The man is so hefty, and the lady is so lean for this man to be beating this woman. And you forgot that the Lord made us out of your ribs. He's trying. I think because of the money that she refused to give you, that's why you keep on beating her, beating her, beating her. It's not good. It's not good. I'm here now seeing them. Let me just.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Tell her that to bring the phone back. What she's trying, so though she's angry, so she could not express much the way she's feeling. At times when people are angry, to talk is so hard for them to express their pain. Can I have the phone? Okay. Nevertheless, we're still going to conclude it as fast as possible. One, while we're still waiting for the phone to come on, I want to ask you. Okay, that's the one. Good afternoon.
Hello, my name, my name is Nitame. I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Okay, your name is who?
Nitame, I'm calling from United Kingdom.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, from what I've heard from both of them, I'm also a man, and I want to advise the man. You know, in marriage, it's not everything you look into. There are certain things you have to ignore because from what I've heard him say, he's trying to be like bossy over the woman, which is not nice. Even God that has created us, He doesn't control us like robots. You give the woman some space as well. You don't have to hold her phone for several number of hours because you just want to. She has the right to her phone. And to side a woman or whatever. There are some times you have to act like a man. You don't show your strength on a man on your wife by slapping her. That's domestic violence, and it's not good. She is part of your life. So I think they should go back to their communication board and sort out things rather than using violence or strength on the woman. It's not right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to take only two more calls, then we'll round up because of other cases. Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Turn down the volume of what you're watching from, please.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Joy. I'm calling from Kogi State.
Go ahead.
I have been listening to the program that's going on, and I just want to advise the couple. Specifically to the man, I'm very, very surprised to hear that a man is saying that they did not inform him before inviting somebody to come and make children's hair. This I don't is it that when you have a male child and you go out with your son and you decide to cut your son's hair, you are going to be calling your wife to tell her that you want to cut the hair of your son. You know this marriage thing, the both of you are friends. It's not you don't lord over a woman. I know I'm a lady and it may look as if I'm taking side. Please, just the lady are there to support, and somebody that is helping you to pay part of the loan, helping the family. You are beating the person up, and you will now come back to tell me that after beating me and punching me, that no matter what happened, we should still see how we can pay loan together. Things don't work like that. We are human beings, and we work with emotions. So please, let's not look as if the men are God and the women are just your vessel that you like something that you mold in your house. You can scatter it and mold it again, scatter it. That is not how marriage should be. So, and I also want to plead with the lady. The issue of going to hit the man first. When they say, I know that some people cannot manage anger. When somebody is hurting you badly and pretending at the same time, when people come around, they'll look as if he's a gentleman. Things like that pains a lot. But try to control your anger. Going to hit your husband first or engaging him physically is not good. That is just my contribution. Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay. Good afternoon. Your name is where you are calling from your last caller.
Okay, my name is Henry. My name is Henry. I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Okay, go ahead.
Madam, you said the men should both contribute, and as a man, I dread to talk to my brother over there. My brother, just listen to me. I must confess to you, I was like you before, and it never worked for my family. Listening to you, you are very macho, you are very picky, and it's not going to work like that. What I will advise you to do is just try to value certain things. I have to teach myself to the lesson. Today, I'm happy with my marriage. Please and play. Overlook certain things. Don't react to everything your wife does. It's not always like that. Because if you always want to be, I am the head of the house. I am always right. Your wife is human. So you must learn to understand her feelings. Try to bury your anxiety. It might be difficult for you, but don't bring it home. Just understand that you are fighting for the family. Make her understand what you are passing through. It's not by making her a punching bag. Madam, let me tell you one thing too. If your husband is passing through hard times, you should know not to trigger him. If you trigger him, he might react badly. So that is my advice. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you, sir. All right, that is the last caller for this very case of today. Okay, first and foremost, I want to tell Mr. Mrs. Adetunji, Adetunji or Olayode. Madam, I want to ask you, give her this mic, please. Tell us the truth and nothing but the truth. Because we stand for truth here and without the consequence of any of our revolution. Tell us the truth. Have you for once laid hand on your husband for any reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Or you have, like how many times?
No, the thing is, okay, the issue of him holding my phone that he talked about. I work from home, so I use my phone as hotspot.
That is more or less you hold on to your office.
And I had a meeting, and I was telling him that my meeting will soon start. You know how this thing works, and
I don't
all.
want story again because the house is story. You have once beaten him because of that very day.
So you wanted to leave the house, so I held on to him. I
Okay.
prevented him from leaving because
Aside that, have you for once prevented him from going out when issue is raising and you want to step out of the house and you stop him going out? Have you done that before?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then aside that, have you maybe having issue with him and before he raised and maybe both of you were arguing and you first lay hand on him like slap him, pushed him or tried
No,
to-
ma'am.
You have not.
No.
Even
That's why I
though-
said, except the time he was holding my phone. There were times he would seize my laptop. I've had to call the police once. I was going to work. Without my laptop, I can't do anything at work. And I begged him till daybreak
And what was his reason of seizing the laptop?
because I shouldn't be coming home with it anymore. And sometimes I work when I get home. I
Yeah,
will
what
join
time
the
did you go to bed? Even if you work at home, what
It's
time
not
did-
all the time that I work at home, but sometimes some cases could come up that will require I quickly log in. So it's not like I just bring it home. Then sometimes I might not feel well, so I might not go to work,
and you work from
and I
home.
will just work. So it's
But
not.
you give him attention and he gives attention each time you work from home or you work from
Yeah.
home also?
Since the COVID, I've been working from home. That's since last year March.
Have you ever smashed his MP3?
I can't remember, but I know we've gotten physical at some point. He has called my phone before that he bought me another one. I've smashed his phone too. So I can't remember that of MP3, but I've smashed. I remember that of his phone.
You smashed his phone.
Yes,
When you were courtship or in the marriage.
in courtship.
Okay, have you ever poured water on him?
I don't remember that. He has said it before, but I don't remember it. Because me, what I remember is me telling him when he hits his neighbor. I told him then in courtship, like I can't be with someone that hits a woman. Then he said, you know, it was because she was insulting you that I hit her. He even told, he held a knife and told me that when next, no, was it that when next okay, that was what he said when he hit the lady. So when he hits me the first time, and I told him plainly that this cannot work, then he said, if it happens again, I should call his mom. Because he used to listen to his mom. I should call his mom and let her know.
Okay, hold on. I don't want much story. What I understand, you heard him say both of you were friends for 5 years, then you were courtship for 3 years, then you were married for 5 years.
Yeah, the initial knowing each other, there were breaks because when he graduated and I was still in school, we lost touch. But we
Okay,
had
in the
always
course
known.
of your courtship, because cutting someone for 3 years is not 3 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you noticed that he's a what did you notice about him before you go into the marriage? Is he a temperamental person?
Yes,
Is he a temperamental person?
yes, he has anger. I also
And
get
what is
angry.
it that he complained about you?
Okay, what he used to complain then was I talk to, okay, if we have arguments, I call his mom or I talk to my mom. And I told him, if you get physical with me, I can't keep quiet. I'll
Okay,
have to tell someone.
okay. One, I know.
Then about house chores and all that. But all that has even improved. All the things he complains about, I've worked on them. Right now, nobody, not my mom, knows I'm here. Nobody knows he laid his hand on me. I've not spoken to anybody. The last time we had an issue and we talked, I told him, I said, okay, I'm not going to talk to him. Whatever we're going to
But
do
that
with
thing that
him.
always leads to him beating you, why don't you stop it?
Ma, in
For
this
instance,
case now
hold
that
on,
happened,
hold on. You
I
know
didn't
what?
say anything
You
and he
didn't
still
say it.
beats me.
Good. Because before you go, there is a difference between cutting somebody first before you go into marriage,
Yes, ma.
for not cutting the person at all. If there was no courtship and you go into such marriage and you're experiencing this kind of a thing, you assume, yes, we've never courted before we married. So for that reason, I must take my time to understand how this thing can work or how it will work out. But if both of you have been in friendship and you were courtship for 3 years before you married and you are already married for 5 years, then let's move the friendship out of it. Courtship plus marriage is 8 years, and none of you seems to understand each other. Then something is wrong somewhere. You can't live with anybody without trying to study the person. Studying your partner is the most paramount in every relationship, in marriage, friendship, even in business. You must study both of you must study each other. Your husband is so petty. You are a very, very petty man. And it irritates me. If I want to judge you based on what you are saying is what you know. And what you know is what you understand. And even if they kill you on it, they only kill you based on your understanding. You lack maturity in marriage. What you are saying, I can't even explain. You are so petty and you are everywhere. Marriage, everybody have their jurisdiction. There is what your activities as a man, what you should engage yourself into. Just like one of our members said, there are areas where you must allow the woman to manage the home herself. And that is why she's the wife and she's the mother of that home. You can't be husband and same time be the wife. I can't imagine you asking your wife to take permission from you without before making her dear child hair. What for? For instance, if she's the one making the hair herself, did she need permission from you to lose her kids' hair and feed them good before going to school or anything if she notices that they are looking they're untidy? That is her job. That is her responsibility. If she save money from feeding to plait the hair, that is not your concern. If she asks for money to make the kids' hair, that is your concern. But how is the hair made shouldn't be your concern. You pick at everything at home as a man. That makes you. You speak. I can't. I don't want to. I just don't want to use foul language from you. I'm not seeing anything reasonable here for you to lay hand on her. None of you have any right. He is not your child. And even your child, there is a level you score the child. You are beating your wife, somebody you call your friend. That you've been with her, both of you have shared pain together. You have had some things in common. You have been to school. You've shared even emotions. And you are laying your hand on her. You did not feel it. You were not feeling it. Relationship is not the way some of us see it. When you want to slap someone, you especially when it comes to relationship, feel that pain first. Just imagine that this person is your younger sister, and you lay her on ground, beating her for whatever reasons, until she has to get blood stain on her eyes, and definitely they will ask her, "What happened to you?" No matter how she hides it, people will know she's suffering from domestic relationship. There is no two ways about it. And those that knows you and her will know that she's going through hell even if she doesn't speak out. I don't see any reason whatsoever that you should be beating your wife. And somebody, a nanny, have to come into between you and her. What a shame. That is disgrace to you as a husband and as a father to those children. There are thousands of ways of resolving your issues, your misunderstanding in marriage without laying hand on each other. And it will even be more painful than you laying hand on her. Anything could happen. Today, you are happy that she's alive. You are giving statements and she's giving statements. And we're trying to intervene. What if, and because of you hitting her, she slumped and she died? You have killed the mother of your children, and that will become something else, become a story, then you become a murderer. Who will listen? Will she be alive to tell the story? No. Over control in marriage, and I don't even see why you should be reasoning that way. You are a learned person. And I believe average young girls today want to be married to somebody that is learned, exposed, and they feel in the course of you going through some levels of education and training, you must have learned something, you must have been exposed to some decent lifestyles, even if you're brought up from this kind of background. There should be an atom of decency of behavior towards your wife, towards your husband in the modern marriage. It's not the days. Our great grandparents, our grandparents sit here, you will sit. It's only one wrapper you wear out. It is. No, 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 they are not going to market. They will say, you are not selling today. Nobody. That is slavery. That is not respect. The respect God talk about is like love your wife, cherish her, and wife, honor your husband, respect your husband. They never say you should turn your wife to slave. You are all adults. Marriage is not for kids. It's made for adults that are ready to manage themselves and home. Anything contrary to that is slavery. My husband can say some certain things. At the point he say, no, I want to do this. Even if my opinion cannot count, I will try my best to convince you. Don't feel because you are the man of the house, the decision you take is what is superior. No. In fact, in most cases, you may make mistake. And she is your partner. She needs to contribute it to your life. In advice, the same way she's supporting you financially, then you should understand her support by ideally advice is also paramount. It's also important. If her money is important, her idea, her advice, her own opinion should be respected as well. Then you talk about kitchen, a minor something. You walk up to the kitchen. Honey, who turned that? In fact, or can't my husband is in Holland is watching me. I have opened tap several times. I will go to the first bedroom, I will open tap. Then I'll come to the other parlor and be talking to him. The next thing the tap is rushing. I will go to the second one I want to brush. I forgot that I'm not on that of that. I will on it again and leave them. He will go there and off it. I will open, oh my God, it's me, oh, he will off it again. Does that require having problem, slapping somebody on top of that? No, it doesn't. Off the tap. House has been flooded before, not once, not twice. At times you open the tap, maybe they've not pumped the water and you forgot to lock it back. It has happened severally in my own house. And my husband will just walk to the tap and off it. At times you on it, you forgot. The whole water in the reserve, the tank got finished because I turned it on. You are running scatter, trying to manage home today. You are in the kitchen for kitchen, you are in the bedroom you want to iron you want to do. Your duty is not like ours. She want to breastfeed child, she want to talk about the children, she want to take care of this, she want to respond to her business, she want to talk about her boss is calling her, then she want to attend to you as a husband, then she has to go to kitchen for cooking. It's not as easy as some of you think. You have to help your partner out. And I don't even know if your landlady made you one of the next of kin of her property. I can't imagine my landlady don't want my husband. And I want to worship that landlady because my name is among the next of kin. You did not inherit the property. If the landlady did not like your wife, and you know there is nothing bad she's doing to the woman, Mr. Man, look for other comfortable apartment and pack out and have your peace. quarrel with your own wife because of a landlady, a house that does not belong to you. Whether you like it or not, you will pack out of the house either to your own to your own personal building or to another rented apartment. You live, you were not born there. You move from a place to that place. You can equally move out of there. Why must everything bring problem to your home? Why must everybody be an intruder and you will allow them to become the devil settled in your house? That is so childish. Your wife talked to me. I did not talk to her. So what? Move your car out from my husband back, or move the car we want to drive us. What is the offensive statement there? And if you need to go to, excuse me, sir. Hello, excuse me. However, I'm missing the point. I don't care. But what I'm I'm telling you here, you just have to stop that. All these things that is bringing problem, it doesn't work it. I listen to you carefully. And why must you people segregate? Your cousin, your sister, your brothers, after all. Until you understand what the definition of marriage is, that is when you will value each other more than any other third person in your life. This man was born into a family. You were born into another family. You grew up with your siblings and your parents. Then at a point, you leave the family, lives alone, and you move out of the family, you live alone. Until you die, you will never go back and live with your parents again. Until he died, he will never go back to his parents and live with them, except either of you is cursed. But if you are not cursed, you always pray for progress and live your independent life. So both of you that will live together till you die. Same way your parents, your father and your mother live together and give birth to you people. Today you don't go back. Your mother never go back to her parents. But she stayed with your father until until they gave birth to both of you and you grew up to live this way. And who is a cousin? Who is a sister or brother? They say, after all, your brother come to my house, you did not inform me. What a petty lifestyle. And if you are in marriage, my dear sister, you must try to manage. Because you are going to go through a lot of things. But if you don't try to manage some situation, you will have that marriage crashed. If you notice that cousin come to that house and your husband don't inform you, change your pattern. Cook, you must not cook and finish it. You cook and have a little reserve in your pot. If you come around, warm it and give to him instead of waking up overnight. If the nanny lives with you, then you can equally ask nanny, can you fry what is it called? Yam for my husband cousin or for our visitor, or boil a rice, or just like that. You must not wake up, go to the kitchen and cook if your nanny is there. Then making it out of a point or walking up to him, always tell me when your cousin is coming so that you will not go to kitchen. You want to live Oyibo life. We are African now. Is this modern life that you put food and finish? I grew up in a house where my parents put food stay till the next day. We'll still wake up again and eat. So you can still do that. Don't allow food to finish from your kitchen. Cooked one. So that any emergency visitor that comes does not require you going to cook fresh. Go there, warm it and give it to the person if the person is still willing to eat. So asking him to be informing you before his cousin come to the house because of cooking, it's like you also trying to Yes, I'm the madam of the house, but they must inform me first before you whatever. The kind of husband you are married to, you also try to understand the person. If you are living in the Western world, yes, yeah, it's possible. Even if the mother is coming, they have to inform you. My mom is coming, should she come? It's a question. Both of you have to discuss that. But when you are an African woman, no matter the level of your education, be the, if you like, be professor, that's this thing you must amend. So you don't need to question him, you don't need to go ask him, inform me first that your cousin should be coming. Change your pattern as a housewife. And at any given time you are having misunderstanding with your husband, if you want to step out, don't block him. Because at that moment, stepping out of the house can save a lot of problem. He may not want to touch you. He may not want to extend his exchange of words. If you want to step out, allow him to step out. Before he returns back, everything will settle. If he moves from the parlor to his bedroom, stop. Don't move. Don't push further. And response matters a lot. It's not proper, it's not decent for anybody that respects his or her parents to open up his or her mouth to insult his or her father or mother-in-law. It's uncalled for, meaning you are not trained. I am talking to both of you. You have no reason whatsoever to insult the mom or the dad. Because they are just innocent beings that have nothing to do with your relationship. So whatever issue you are having, sort yourself out and don't extend it to anybody's siblings or the parents. And another thing that breaks home much is third party, family. If you want to do it and last long in your marriage, avoid bringing family members into your marriage crisis. Study whom you are living with is very, very important. If you are able to study each other, you will live like twins. There is no how you call your elder sister or your younger sister relating what your husband is doing to you. One, they may not be patient, others, please sit properly. They may not be patient to know what you did that prompted his action. Neither will the family be patient to understand what he did that prompted your action. Because any action prompts reaction. But will they listen to what you did first as their own sibling? No. In most cases, we don't reason that way. We are always concerned what they did to our brother and what they did to our sister. And it's the reason why you don't trade your marriage to your family. If you are not ready to go out of the marriage, don't send information there. Otherwise, you will leave the marriage on time. They can't watch you being beaten by your husband. They cannot watch their brother being slapped, being molested by you. Depends on however you paint the story. Manage your crisis. When he's talking, when you know he's a tempered person, at that moment, don't respond. That doesn't make you a coward, but that makes you more matured in the relationship. And thereafter, when you know situation has come, address the issue. And if you're addressing the issue, don't forget to put any pet name you guys are calling each other, because that serves situation in most cases. But if you leave the pet's name and you know there is an issue on ground, you start calling Papa Jennifer. Issues have been settled. At any given time you are addressing the issue, the pet name should be there even while you are addressing the issue. call what name? Olayede. You've heard, if you allow people to call you from now till tomorrow, you will still listen to people's opinion. Don't divide my office, please. Hello, I don't need that. You will listen to people again and again and again and again. In this office, we have no reason to side nobody. We will tell you the truth. And then the consequence. We have sent so many husbands to prison. We have sent them to psychiatric hospital. And if you come out from there, you still want the married, fine. If you don't want, you will prefer to save their life or to save your life than to encourage either of you be in domestic marriage. Because so many precious lives have been sent to early grave because of what? Inability to manage crisis. Laying hand on her or her laying hand on you is not an act of way of managing relationship. And when I listen to you, I still don't see reason why it should escalate to that point. And it's my real that is the essence why I got angry. Because I see you as the man of the house. And I see you as someone that is exposed and learning. And there's no reason why you should treat your own body in that manner. So if I have no reason to be biased, but I will only tell you the truth. And if they say here the same thing, people will call you all over the world and they will still blame you. Why? Because you are the man. And she have no reason also to do same thing that you are complaining to you. And a situation like that, we can still come there, take the kids. Because engaging in violence in the presence of the kids, what are you trying to train? What kind of training are you giving to the children? You are bringing up another whole lump to the society because what you train, they are going to first train by both of you. So, which is very, very wrong. On no account will you lay hand on her. And I know, did any of you, have you ever gone for marriage counseling? Before you got married? Where?
The church.
Church. I don't think you people did not do well. But this relationship have gone beyond what is happening now. It's not proper. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Yes. So there are areas we will give you like where you send some of your visit to our lines and they need to cancel both of you. Yes. Both of you should be happy. Be married, you are working, it's a little business, you are supporting, God bless you with children, and you need to manage and plan your life that this marriage should be an endless marriage, not the way it's going. So there's something that is lacking somewhere. The communication gap is too much. Yes. And please, anything that has to do with somebody's source of income, don't play with it. Don't trade. Don't. Uh, your control should not extend to that because it's going to affect you and as well affect her. Because her source of income is what she uses supporting you. And if you seize her phone, whether she work from home and with the gadgets, where else did you expect her to get the income from?
The time I took the phone, she has finished work. It wasn't okay. The next day.
They also have to do with the laptop also.
Before she resumed work.
Don't do that, sir. It's not good. Your differences should be settled with discussion. And I can as well tell you what you can do to her that she will feel it very well without you touching her. She can have, you can do, there are some things you can do, right? That your husband will feel without you even turning back at where you feel you should help at the moment. Because both of you or work against your desire. Then I'm giving this as a last chance. If I don't pray for that, I pray for peace in this union from today. And I believe God will intervene from today. Amen. That is my prayer. Both of you are too wonderful to be in this kind of situation. And pray also. Everything must not be your father, your sister, your mother. No. There's so many challenges in marriage. You also pray. Pray together with your husband. And if there is a situation like that, try to avoid don't engage yourself in any form of confrontation. Don't confront him. Pray, and after a while, you know the mind will step down. With this kind of thing, if there's any reason, because you have the address already, even without you guys coming to this office, we are still going to delegate people to come and investigate your house after today. Any form of violence in that house. One, you are constituting nuisance in that compound. You are disturbing other co-tenants. And you are also encouraging other couples there to fight. Because if you are living peacefully, nobody will want to emulate evil from you. But if you are engaging in violence, others may think that is the best way of resolving differences in marriage. And because we will not want to encourage that, we will put you people on check. And moreover, the kids that both of you have there. So from this moment, we want a change, a mandatory change in this marriage. Let me have another. Take your phone. Do you have any other thing else to say? Do you have any other things to say? Do you have any other things to say? Hmm? I can't hear you. Why? Is it exhausted? Make a photocopy of letterhead paper, let them write it down. Then call it Teja branch, let them make some about it. No, is it not like light? Be fast about that, please. Please. All right, thank you, viewers, for being with us. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you. Okay, have you apologized to me? Have you apologized? You apologize to her in our office. Sincere apology.
I'm sorry for laying my hands on you.
Give him mic. I thought husband and wife apology. I need to hold
I'm
it.
sorry for laying my hands on you, and it's an action I regret, and it should never happen again. I'm sincerely sorry.
Alright, madam, do you accept the apology? Or you think the apology is not sincere?
I accept it.
Is this one sincere? Eh? Okay.
And I'm sorry to if there's anything I've done wrong. I really want this to work.
Okay.
I'm sorry for the sake of the children. Please, let's make this work. I beg you.
It's okay. It's okay. Mr. Latuji, right? Live. Stop crying. It's okay. You see, you are crying, she is crying. Both of you are crying. What kind of devil is this? It's okay. It's okay. I don't know the kind of devil that is entering marriage. So it's okay. Don't want to cry. You should not make me cry, please. I need to. It's okay, madam. Calm down. You'll be my friend from today. Okay? Chat me up. I'll bite it first. Okay? It's okay. Like this too long. He regrets his action. He's crying, you are crying, and all that. So there is no love. You can't. How many years? There is no genuine love. Both of you cannot come this far. Hmm? So don't let level come into the home again, okay? Try all your best. I feel for both of you. I feel for you. I feel for him. Please. Yes, I feel touched when you talk your story, and I don't want this to happen again, please. Okay? You have nobody to talk to. Talk to now. Yeah. And I will call him. I'll talk to him. Lastly, if you have anything, if there are some things you feel you will not be able to manage, send message, okay? It's okay. Okay, Mama, come and pray for them. I know you stay long in marriage and you stay till this age. Let them succeed in their marriage. You know. Over your head. Use the mic.
So I pray Jehovah, Jésù Kristi, Michael mọ́, ọba wa àtọlọ́run wa, ọba kìkì mọ́lẹ̀, ọba tí ọpẹ́ àti ìbúyẹ. A dúpẹ́ fún ìdásí ẹ̀mí lórí àwọn tọkọtaya yìí, lórí ìdílé yìí, Olúwa mi àtọ̀nà ẹ wá dúró tì wọ́n. Gbogbo ọ̀nà téṣù lè gbà láti dàrú wọn, Olúwa ẹ bá wa bàjẹ́, ẹ gbogbo èṣù nínú ayé wọn. Torí ohun gbogbo tó bá dára látọ̀dọ̀ yìí, gbogbo ohun tó bá ti yàtọ̀ sí ohun tó dára, iṣẹ́ èṣù ni ọlẹ́bà àbíṣù nínú ayé wọn. Ẹ dá wọn mọ̀ wọ́n sí, ẹ wá pẹ̀lú wọn Olúwa. Nílùú ìṣeré Olúwa mi àtọ̀nà jẹ́ kó rọ̀ fún wọn Olúwa. Gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá gbà nípa àtijọ́ àti ẹ jẹ́ kó bọ́ sí rọrùn fún wọn. Èṣù tó ń ṣe ọ̀tá ẹ̀ kó má ṣe ráyè nínú ayé wọn. Olúwa tún yín ṣe, á tún ayé yín ṣe, ẹ bára yín kalẹ̀. ẹ bára yín kalẹ̀ nínú orúkọ láti Jésù torí Olúwa ò fẹ́ ìdàrúdàpọ̀ kò lè fẹ́ ìkọsẹ̀ fún ẹni tó bá ti gbàgbọ́ ní Olúwa gbogbo ayọ̀ ìgbàlà láti jẹ́ ti ayọ̀ ìgbàlà jẹ́ ti yín ẹni kúkú oníkú ẹni jìyà oníyà ẹni ju ẹni tó ń wá o àṣìtàgùn ní báyìí ìfẹ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ tí Jésù tó fi rán tó torí ẹwà tó kú fún ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa ìfẹ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ náà tó lọ́wọ́ fi dá àrùn àwọn ayé tó fi dá àwọn èèyàn á fi sínú yín ìmọ̀ràn yín á dẹ̀jọ́ kan ìgbésí ayé yín ò ní bàjẹ́ orúkọ Jésù la gbàdúrà.
So shall it be in Jesus' name. Amen. May the wisdom of God reign over this marriage in Jesus' name. Amen. May the peace of God abide in this family in Jesus' name. Amen. May the glory of God shine upon this marriage in Jesus' name. Amen. And so shall it be in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So you guys go. I'm going to call you people tonight. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Lisa, please put down your number here, please. Hello, Oga. Where is the number? It's okay. Say your